Mrs. Thomas Rhodes. Tom is a management consultant. Cleve's a housewife. Mrs. Rhodes, will you please say goodbye to your husband? This is Jim Crowley and his wife, Hunka. Jim's in the catering business. Hunka is a housewife. Mr. Crowley, it's farewell time. Fred Elger is an investment counselor. Eleanor is a housewife. Mrs. Elger, off you go. Dick and Liz Metz have been married 4 years. Dick's a golf pro, Liz a model. Mr. Metz, please join the other three off stage. The rest of you stay right there as we play It Had to Be You. And here's your host, Ed McMahon. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Johnny Olson, and welcome. It Had to Be You is a game of personal association played with married couples. You've met our players, so I think we can begin. Now, all of your husbands and wives are off stage right now, or they're unable to hear anything we say. When they come back, they'll try to pick you out on the basis of your response to certain words. So when I give you a word, try to respond with a strong personal association. So strong that when your husband or wife hears it later on, they'll know that it had to be you, instantly. No one else in the whole world could have given that same response. Now, I'll give you the first word in a second, then I'll accept responses from the first three people who raise their hands. Now, your response may be either one or two words, but no proper names or capitalized words, all right? Let's see, the first word we want is the word drink, D-R-I-N-K. What are your responses to the word drink? I have a hand already from Mrs. Metz.
Can't be capitalized.
Cannot be capitalized. We'll try to rephrase it. Pop.
Soda pop.
Soda pop is fine. Soda pop is a perfect response. Is that you or your husband?
It's Dick.
It's Dick. He likes soda pop?
Coke.
Well, let's just drink some Coke. What do you like?
I like Diet Right.
You like what? Diet Right?
Yeah, that's supposed to commercialize.
We'll put down soda pop for you. Now, I think, Mr. Rhodes, you were second.
Bullshot.
Bullshot.
Yes.
That's the drink. I know that drink. It's
Yeah.
made with the bouillon
And
and
vodka.
spirits,
Yes.
a little lemon, salt, and pepper.
Exactly.
It's very good the morning after, I understand.
Yes.
Who drinks that, you or your wife?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Very often?
No.
I say, okay, we'll put down bullshot as your response. Who was third? Mr. Alger, I believe.
Bourbon water.
Bourbon water.
We both drink bourbon and water.
Well, we'll just accept bourbon water as our thing, and she'll probably know the answer. Okay, you've heard the responses to our first word. We'll go to the next one in just a moment. Bathing suit. I'll accept three responses to bathing suit. I think, Mrs. Crowley, you were first with your hand up.
Pink bikini.
A pink bikini.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of yours, I hope?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Could you just describe it to us?
Well, it's very small.
I think you've described it. Okay, Mrs. Crowley, we'll put down pink bikini. Mr. Alger, you were second.
No bikini.
Mr. Alger, I hope you have an explanation for that. What was that all about?
Well, my wife has never had a bikini because she's never felt that her figure is quite, wrongly so, but never felt that her figure was quite good enough to have a bikini.
I want to get this clear. You disagree with your wife.
That's right.
It's her idea that her figure wasn't good enough for the bikini. You think it is.
That's right.
Okay, I don't want to get you in any kind of trouble. We'll put that down. No bikini, but you'd like to see her in one.
That's right.
Mrs. Metz.
Tank suit.
Tank suit? For you or whom?
For me, I swam competitively for about 8 years, and I think you'll recognize it.
Tank suit. What is the tank suit exactly?
It's a nylon racing suit, and it's very, very lightweight, and it goes into a ball about that big. If you want to stick it in your pocket, you can. That gives you an idea of their...
Where does the name tank come from?
I don't know. Swimming pool, a tank? I don't know.
Oh, I see. As it sounded to me like it was one for a larger person, you know. I misunderstood it. But we'll accept tank suit as your response. Very good responses, by the way. Let's try one more word. Proposal. The word is proposal. Any responses? All right, I think Mr. Alger, you were first.
Down steps.
Down steps. You fell down the steps right after you proposed.
I proposed to my wife going after dinner, and we were just going down some steps. It was in San Francisco. We were up on a hill, and we were was out looking out over the water, and we were just. I proposed to her as we were going down the steps.
Just kind of carried away with the spectrum.
Got carried away with the whole thing.
You didn't trip on the stairs or anything?
No.
All right, down steps we'll accept as your response. Mr. Rhodes, you were second.
Bourbon crackers.
Bourbon crackers. You seem to be kind of, I don't want to say, a fixation about bourbon, but tell me about bourbon crackers, Mr. Rhodes. No wonder he needs bull shots.
The night I proposed, I never drank bourbon. And my wife did and does. And I asked her to my apartment, and as a gesture, I bought bourbon, and I made some hors d'oeuvres, and I proposed.
I think that's just wonderful. Proposal and bourbon crackers. All right, we'll accept that. Who was third? Mrs. Crowley.
Is it allowed to say German restaurant, or is that a proper word?
Oh, German is a proper word.
Well,
German restaurant. Could you say it some other way? Could you say...
Germanic, I suppose, would be the same.
No, foreign? How about foreign restaurant? Foreign restaurant?
How about roast pork?
All right. Every time I go to a German restaurant, I always have that. Roast pork. Now, what does that mean?
Well, it just simply means that there is this place that we're very fond of, and it's the first time he ever proposed to me was there.
Right after a roast pork...
Right. So it's kind of... I still feed it to him.
Are you sure it wasn't applesauce? Huh?
I don't know.
All right. All right, we'll accept roast pork as your response. You've heard the responses to the three words. Let's see if the husband and wives will be able to figure out who said what. While they're coming back out on stage, here's a word that every woman likes to hear about from her hero. You know who that is. It's the White Knight.
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
Well, I certainly do.
The woman who needs real cleaning power in her laundry detergent needs new Ajax.
For really getting out the tough dirt, there's just one Ajax. Ajax gets everything so clean and white and... Well, just look. The kids have been wearing these shirts for months, and they're still clean and white. Maybe not everybody needs this much cleaning power, but my kids get extra dirty. And their father shows them how.
Stronger than dirt.
That's why I need all the extra power I can get in the detergent.
Stronger than dirt. New Ajax. Laundry detergent is stronger than dirt. The woman who needs real cleaning power in her laundry detergent needs new Ajax.
But a fun game to play.
You pronounce it.
Let's try it together now. Tom Kennedy hosts the game of fill-ins and villains. It's new to Buzzer. It's tomorrow starting at 7 on Buzzer.
All right. All of our players are now back on stage. Let me tell you that we're starting out each couple with $50 to your credit. At the end of the game, the one with the highest score will be our winner, and we will double that amount of money. Everyone else gets whatever you have in your account at that time. Now, the first word we gave your partners was the word drink. In just a moment, I'll tell you what their first responses were. If it sounds like something your husband or wife probably said, then raise your hand. If you're right, we'll add $30 to the score. However, if you're wrong, there's a $10 penalty, okay? The first word was drink, and one response we got was bourbon water. Somebody said bourbon water. I think Mrs. Rhodes... Golly. I think this group parties together. Mrs. Rhodes, you were first. Why did you raise your hand so quickly?
Well, that's my very favorite drink in the whole wide world.
Bourbon water is your very favorite?
I think it probably is some other people's, too.
Well, let's find out. Who was the one that mentioned bourbon water? Would you turn around, Mrs. Alger? He's the guilty one. I understand.
I raised my hand.
Yeah, I know you were. You were just a little bit late. I think even Mr. Crowley raised his hand. There's probably a nice story here about bourbon and water, but I have to penalize first the Rhodes, because you were wrong in this instance. We have to subtract $10. And, Mrs. Alger, because you didn't get it right either, we have to subtract $10. I'm sorry, okay? Here's another response. Soda pop. I said drink. Somebody said soda pop. Who was that?
That would,
All right, Mr. Metz, you're a little hesitant. You weren't
well,
sure.
I am a little hesitant, but I think that probably would be me.
Would you tell us the story?
Well, I drink a lot of soda pop. A lot of
It doesn't seem to gain any weight for you. You're nice and
Well,
slim.
I've tried that too, but nothing.
Have you ever tried bourbon and water?
No, that doesn't help.
That doesn't help you. All right. You're exactly right, Mr. Metz. We'll add $30 to your score. Okay. Now, someone said bullshot. When I said drink, someone said bullshot.
I'll try.
All right,
again.
Mr. Rose, you're going to try. You're trying anything that sounds good. All right.
He just likes to drink. He loves bull shots.
Well, you're
And he
exactly...
took him to a football game
He
a
did?
couple of weeks ago.
How'd the game turn out?
It was warm.
How did he turn out? Okay, you're right. We'll add $30 to your score. There you go. All right, we finished with drink. The next word was bathing suit, and we heard this response: no bikini. Somebody, when I said bathing suit, said no bikini. Mrs. Alger, you have your hand up immediately. Would you tell us why?
I don't wear one. I don't have one.
Well, I think that's better, that you don't have one. Don't say you don't wear one. In these times, you just never know. He was saying something about someone in your family didn't think that you looked good in a bikini. Was that him?
Probably. Or me.
No, he said it was you. He said he thought you looked fine and you could wear a bikini. And you're exactly right, so let's add $30 to your score. He was really sticking up for you. He said you should get one. Now, how about pink bikini as a response to bathing suit? Yes, Mr. Crowley.
That was my wife. She does, in fact, have a pink bikini.
How does she look in it?
Fine.
That's all you're going to say, huh? Just fine. All right, it is just fine. We'll add $30 to the score since you're right. When I said bathing suit, someone said tank suit. Tank suit. What does that mean to anybody? All right, Mr. Metz.
Well, that would have to be my wife because she wears tank suits sometimes. She was I better explain that. She was a swimmer at one time, and she wore a tank suit, so.
That's what she told us, so you're right. We'll add $30 to your score. All right. That completes word number 2. How about the third word? Proposal. There's a good word. Somebody said roast pork when I said proposal. Yes, Mr. Crowley.
That was my wife because, in fact, we were having dinner over roast pork. I proposed.
Had you had dinner over roast pork before?
I'm sure I had, yes.
You've heard of trichinosis, haven't you, sir? But the roast pork dinner just did it.
Always well done.
And this was at a restaurant. She didn't cook it for you or anything.
This was at a restaurant.
Uh-huh. And have you gone back to that restaurant since?
We have, in fact, gone back a lot.
Are you going to have it enshrined?
Well, if my wife would have it, we might.
All right, that's very good. You're exactly right, sir. We're going to add $30 to your score. When I said proposal, somebody said down steps. That was a response, down steps. Mrs. Alger.
I believe that is my husband because he proposed as we were going down some outside steps from a restaurant.
All right, you're exactly right. We'll add $30 to your score. Now, I said proposal, and somebody said bourbon crackers. Who could that be? Yes, Mrs. Rose.
See, we got bourbon in there. I know I'm right. It happened over bourbon and crackers.
Yes, would you
and
like?
he's very much of a Scotch drinker, and I thought it was terribly important that I learn how to drink Scotch. And this was the first weekend that he said we both can drink bourbon. So the bourbon sort of stands hiding out. And he fixed crackers.
He fixed crackers. Isn't that nice? With cheese and little tidbits. Can you tell me, do you still drink bourbon?
Oh, yeah.
You've decided that's the drink for you. All right. You're exactly right. Let me add $30 to your score. Well, at the end of the very first round, it's awfully close. Two of our players, the Crowleys and the Mets, are tie with $110. The other players have $100. We'll be back for the second round of It Had to Be You in just a moment. But you know, it's a real special present when it's something that's homemade. It seems to mean a lot more, as this is.
Water heater's all fixed, Miss Lee.
Josephine, you got me out of a jam, so I'm giving you some jelly.
Grape jelly? My very favorite.
Made today. The proof is right in my sink. Grape stains over food stains.
They're extra tough. What you need is new extra strength Comet.
My cleanser's good.
Comet can bleach out those stains better than that cleanser.
You serious?
Run the water and I'll show you. I'll sprinkle Comet on one stain, your cleanser on the other. Wait a bit while they work. No rubbing. Now, drain and rinse. You see? Comet's the stain-removing cleanser.
It sure bleached better. Mine left some stains.
Comet has superchlorinol. Disinfects better, too.
I found Comet just in time.
Gonna make more jelly?
And more stains.
You saw it yourself. Comet bleaches out tough food stains better than any other leading cleanser.
Now, for our next round, I'm going to ask you all to change places. You folks in the back row, would you please go off stage where you won't be able to hear what we say? You folks up front, please move round to the back.
We're playing It Had to Be You with your host, Ed McMahon, and we'll be back in just a moment. Let's see what happens when sweet old Aunt Tilly tries to eat just one delicious potato chip.
What is that infernal racket?
Raise potato chips, Aunt Tilly. But can't eat one.
Don't be preposterous. Of course I can. Delightful. I'll have another.
I said one.
Yes. Oh, you're sweet.
I knew she couldn't do it.
And nobody else can. Lay's has the secret. A potato you can slice this thin makes a chip so crisp, so light you can eat 1,000,000 of them. But nobody can eat just one. Another flavor favorite from Frito-Lay.
Delicious.
Now the folks up front now have a chance to hit the bullseye with a very clever and smart response. We'll see how good you are. Remember, we want a very strong personal association, so we know that it had to be you. And the first word is the word clock. Clock. I'll accept the first 3 responses to the word clock. You're about to raise your hand, Miss Algie. Do you want to take it back? Change your mind, all right? All right, Mr. Crowley, I think, is up first. Yes, sir.
I'm going to say off radio.
Off radio. Would you explain that, please?
Well, our method of being awakened in the morning is a clock, the clock radio method.
Mine, too.
And it's my wife's job to get up and turn it off.
Why is it your wife's job to get up and turn it off?
Because, well, it's my job to go out after getting out of bed. It's her job to get me out of bed.
She turns the clock off and you go to work. That's it.
Right.
Well, nice arrangement. We'll call off radio as your response. Now, I think Mrs. Rhodes was second.
I'm going to pass. I can't figure out how to say it.
All right, then, Mrs. Alger.
Always slow.
Always slow. You have a clock that's always slow?
In the bedroom.
In your bedroom. That's the worst place for an always slow clock. Is your husband...
We have to turn it up a few minutes every night.
Is your husband late for work, I guess?
No, every night we move it up a little bit.
I see. All right. All right. Always slow, we'll accept. And now Mr. Metz has his hand up.
Can't see.
Can't see.
Right.
You can't see the clock?
Never.
Why not?
I can see it. Well, when I'm in bed, I want to see what time it is in the morning or at night. I can never see it. It's always, it's either in another room or I can never see it.
It's hard to see if it's in another room.
Well, yeah.
All right, we'll accept can't see as your response to clock. Our next word is pillows. Pillows. I want 3 responses to the word pillows. Yes, now you're ready, Mrs. Rose.
Okay, overhead.
Overhead.
Because he always, when he sleeps, he wants that pillow over his head.
Now, wait a minute now. Let me understand this. He sleeps with a pillow over his head?
Over his head.
Does he sleep with one under his head, too?
No, he takes his pillow and puts it over his head. I don't know why.
Does he have his little duck with him? Oh, he's going to kill you when he comes out here. All right, Mrs. Rhodes. Overhead was your answer. Mr. Crowley.
I think 2 will suffice because the word 2, my wife sleeps with 2 pillows.
2 pillows. Okay, we'll put that down.
I don't know.
If you don't know the reason, maybe we'll find out. We'll put down 2 as your response. Anyway, Mr. Metz.
4 pillows.
4 pillows?
Yeah, so we got a bed. We bought a bed yesterday.
That's
and
nice.
We got 2 new pillows, so now we have 4.
I see.
4.
And you're sleeping, are you each sleeping with double pillows?
Right. Well, actually, we have 5, but 4.
All right, I won't pursue that any further, Mr. Metz, but we'll put down 4 pillows and hope that they'll know. That turned out to be a better word than we planned. Here's word number 3, dog. Responses. Mrs. Rhodes, you're first again.
Neighbors.
Neighbor's dog. Is that because it's friendly or what? What's the story?
Well, Halloween, we had some people come trick-or-treating in our lane that raised quite a fuss, and the neighbor sicked his dog on them.
Wow.
And anyway, it was quite a story, so I think he might know what that is.
You probably remember that. All right, we'll put down neighbor, just neighbors, I guess. Neighbor's dog. Okay.
Yeah,
all right, Mrs. Alger, rather.
Father bite.
Father bite. You mean father bites dog? He's a newspaper man. I know him. No, what does it mean?
His father used to have a dog that was always biting people for years.
What kind of a dog?
I can't remember.
All right, well, we'll put that down as your response. Father's bite. That's apostrophe S bite. Is that what you want? Father's bite.
Well, or father.
Father bite. Okay, yeah. Father bite is it. Mr. Crowley.
I'm going to say not here, meaning we both love dogs, but being apartment dwellers, we're waiting on getting our own home before we have a dog.
I see. Not here, then. In other words, you'd like to have one, but you can't have it where you presently are. All right, those are the responses to the 3 words. Let's bring our partners back in, and we'll pause for this. You know, when a child isn't feeling well, you'll find that the mother suffers just as well. So listen to this message.
Hi, Mike. Hi, is Juicy home?
She has a cold, and the doctor wants her to stay in bed.
Oh, does it hurt and have a temperature?
No, I gave her aspirin. They're children's aspirin.
That's what my mother gives me.
That's because she loves you. And when you feel better, she feels better, too.
Mothers are like that. Yeah, they are.
Always rely on new orange-flavored Bayer aspirin for children. You and your child will both feel better fast.
If you're one of the millions of people who sometimes rely on a laxative, take the best laxative, Phillips Milk of Magnesia. When thousands of doctors across the country were asked, do you ever recommend Milk of Magnesia? The overwhelming majority said they did. You see, Phillips Milk of Magnesia is a laxative plus an antacid. No single-purpose laxative can give such complete yet gentle relief. Take Phillips Milk of Magnesia, the kind of laxative doctors recommend.
Now the front row has returned, and it's time to find out how well you do with your partner's responses. We asked for the word clock, and we got this response. Always slow. All right, Mr. Rhodes.
My watch has been slow for a very long time.
How long would you say?
I guess it's 2 months.
2 months? What are you doing about it?
Trying to get my wife to take it to the jeweler's to have it fixed.
And she just won't help you?
No.
No, okay. Well, she didn't help you much today either. She didn't mention anything about that. So it cost you $10, sir. You answered improperly. Okay. Mrs. Alger, you said something last time. What did you say?
Always slow.
Isn't your clock always slow, Mr. Alger?
I guess maybe it is. I just...
You just don't care about it, is that it?
I didn't notice.
She mentioned that every night before you went to bed, the last thing you did was to turn the clock forward. Is that right?
That's true. That's true.
Well, it's so late in the day, who remembers? All right. We have to subtract $10, however, from your score. Someone else said off radio. When I said clock, they said off radio. Off radio. Mrs. Crowley.
We have a radio alarm clock.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing that I can find here.
That's the only thing, but that's exactly right. You're right, lady. We have to add $30 to your score. I said clock. Somebody said can't see. Can't see. Yes, Mr. Rhodes. You're more positive now than you were the last time.
We recently moved the furniture around in the bedroom, and there's a lamp sort of in the way of the clock, and it can't be seen.
You can't see it rather useless from where you are.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's going to be further in the dark than it was. Because you're wrong, sir. We have to subtract another $10 from your score. Who in the back row said anything about a clock that they couldn't see? Mrs. Metz turned around. Don't you have a clock that's out of sight?
We only
I
have,
don't mean that in the modern teenage term of out of sight. I mean you can't see it.
we only have one clock, and
Yes.
that's what I expected to hear. Only one, because we're always complaining about it. And you can never see it, that's true, because it's always in the wrong room.
I
When
understand.
when I get up in the morning, I take it with me wherever I'm getting made up or whatever I'm doing, and I plug it in the other room.
I'd like to have a film of that household. All right, we have to subtract $10 from your score. Well, that was an expensive go-round on the word clock. Let's move to the second word. It's pillows. Pillows. Someone said two. T-W-O. When I said pillow, someone said two. Did you raise your hand, Mr. Alger? Yes.
I did. We have 2 pillows on our bed.
Yes.
And,
let me be the first to congratulate
you need more of an explanation?
I mean, it's such a rare thing, it's shocked us all. Mr. Alger, I'm only having some fun with you. A lot of people might say that, 2 pillows, but in this instance, it was not your wife that said it, so we have to subtract $10. Who was it back there mentioned 2 pillows? Mrs. Crowley? Right around, it's you.
Yes, I know. I sleep on 2 pillows.
You sleep on 2 pillows. That's luxury. How many pillows does he get? None?
1.
He gets 1, you get 2.
Which
You now
gets
get...
pulled away occasionally.
Well, you get $30 right now for being... Oh, no, I beg your pardon. You weren't right. I had to tell you. You have to subtract $10 from your score. I felt so good about you on those 2 pillows, I almost gave you the money. All right. Someone else said 4 pillows. 2 wasn't enough. They said 4 pillows. Yes, Mrs. Metz.
Well, we just acquired 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah, but actually it's 5, because he has one.
I'm going to tell you that you're right and award you the money. You'll get $30. But my curiosity is just overwhelming me, and what's the story on the 5th pillow? Could you just tell us? Would you like to come back next week and think about it?
No, he has arthritis in his neck.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh. Wonderful. All right, let's go on to the third response. The third response was overhead. Somebody said, when I said pillows, they said overhead. Mr. Rhodes, yes, sir.
We just hung 2 pictures, and my wife was quite concerned that they each be right over each pillow, even and lined up.
I
see. That's wrong.
That's a wonderful story, Mr. Rhodes. It's one of the biggest lies I've ever heard. Would you describe to the audience how you sleep at night? How do you sleep when you go to bed?
Oh, yes, at times I do try to drown out the noise.
It's nothing else. I thought it may have dated back to childhood. A lot of children, when they were young, used to snuggle with the pillow, pull the covers up close.
I pull one over my head so I can't hear my children, yes.
Well, that was the right answer. You gave the wrong answer for the pillows overhead, so we have to subtract $10 from your score. We're sorry, but we had a lot of fun with that answer anyway. Let's move on to the third word, and that is dog. And someone said, not here. When I said dog, they said, not here. That will mean something to somebody, we hope. Not here. Anybody? I have to call. I have to call time. Who said not here on the back row? That's right, Mrs. Crowley. You thought so. You started to look around. You don't have a dog now, do you?
No, I've never had one.
Well, see, it's not here. This is another place that you don't have either. How about... Now, your husband mentioned, and I think that you are going to get a dog as soon as you have a proper surroundings for him, little country estate and so on.
Right.
Are you sure you want to...
20 years in.
20 years from now. Don't count on that soon, Mr. Crowley. Okay, we have to subtract $10 from your score. I'm sorry. Okay, someone said neighbors. When I said dog, they said neighbors. Yes, Mr. Rhodes.
On Halloween, several thousand children from another area inundated our neighborhood, and our neighbor got so upset that he loosed his dog.
As we add $30 to the score, let's hear it from Mr. Rhodes. And I just figured out why you have the pillow over your head. You don't want to hear that dog barking.
I don't want to hear the children.
All right. How about father's bite? Father bite, rather. When I said dog, somebody said father bite. Who?
had their dinner, and they say they're waiting for their dinner, and I say, well, I'm terribly hungry, too. Maybe I'll have a leg or something. And they always squeal and say, no, Daddy, no, it's just a game we play.
Have you ever thought of sleeping with a pillow over your head? I'm sorry, that's a wonderful story, but that's not the right story in this instance. As we understand it, was it his father, Mr. Selden? Your father had a dog that used to bite everybody?
Oh, yeah.
That was the story we wanted. We'll have to subtract $10. I'm sorry. But thank you for telling us that wonderful story.
I wish you'd stop.
No, I wanted to hear the end of it. I do the same game. I make hot dogs out of my kids. I cover them with mustard and relish and sauerkraut, and I take a bite. I do the same thing. So all fathers play that game. We'll be right back to check the final score in just a moment. You know, in football or in business, any old pro's advice really counts, as you'll find out.
Okay, Mr. Hughes. Maybe we can have lunch another day. Goodbye.
Steve, how's my newest insurance salesman?
Not so good, Mr. Tillip. Well, my prospects sure keep me at arm's length. You'd think I had bad breath.
That's no problem. Here's the best insurance that an insurance salesman can have.
What's that?
Listerine.
I've tried mouthwashes. It's like gargling with soda pop.
But not Listerine antiseptic. It has a clean, fresh taste. Besides, Listerine kills germs.
Germs?
Sure. Germs can cause bad breath, but Listerine really blitzes them.
Okay, I'll try it.
Say, yeah, isn't that Hughes? One you've been trying to sell?
Yeah, it sure is, and he just signed a big one thanks to a little help from an old pro.
You mean Listerine?
No, I mean you and Listerine.
Listerine keeps your mouth clean, your breath fresh, hour after hour.
Guess what their partners will get right. Then on Make the Connection, stars guess the missing links. Stay tuned.
Let's have a look now at our final scores. The Algers have $70. The Rhodes have $100. The Crowleys $120. Our big winners are the Mets with $130. We'll double your score. Congratulations. And actually, we double your score, so you get $260, and we invite you back tomorrow to meet 3 other nice couples. I had a wonderful time today with the show. Thank you for making it so easy to point out that it had to be you.
It Had to Be You is a Mark Goodson, Bill Cogman production. Johnny Olson speaking. This program was pre-recorded.
Let me tell you something about the gentleman you have chosen. He is currently the star with Judy Carn of Love on a Rooftop, Mr. Peter Duell. Peter, come on and say hello to Helen.
Why don't you make a date to join the fun and games each Saturday night, starting with a dating game, where the big date means a big prize.
We're sending you on a dream date to Madrid, Spain. That's right.
Then stay tuned for the Newlywed Game, where young marrieds get big prizes for revealing how much they know about each other.
Red. Red. That's right, for 25 points. Let me tell you about the special grand prize we have just for you. A color television set and complete home stereo unit.
So remember to make your Saturday night date for the dating game and the Newlywed Game in color on ABC.
Claire here at the NBC Entertainment Party Convention with TV starlet Rain Storm. Miss Storm, would you care to comment on NBC's exciting quiz game, Tic-Tac-Toe?
I like tic-tac-toe in color.
Yes, very enlightening. Tic-Tac-Toe is a game we've all played at one time or another. Now you can see it on TV and with your host, Jay Jackson. You'll like it as much as People Are Funny, which returns in the fall. Or do you have any views concerning People Are Funny?
People are funny.
Those are pretty strong views, Miss Storm. Controversy is what we're looking for. Any comments on The Price is Right?
The Price is Right in color is one of the most popular quiz. participation games in the country. MC Bill Cullen is the host when this exciting game returns this fall.
Thank you, Miss Storm, for taking time out to speak to us about NBC's fall lineup of fine shows.
Over most of these NBC stations, that is.
Well, tomorrow on BuzzVember. Tomorrow on BuzzVember, as it continues
CBS
on.
presents this program in color.
CBS brings its program in color.
Thank you. This is my partner, Sylvia Drought from New York City.
And it's going to be very
This is the sophisticated and debonair star of the Broadway comedy hit Cactus Flower, Barry Nelson.
Thank you, I think. This is my partner, John Miller from Plymouth, Michigan, and we're all here to play Password.
Yes, it's Password. Here's your host on Password, Alan Ludden.
Tomorrow.
Oh, I almost hit it. Good afternoon. It's nice to have you with us. Hello, Claire. How are you? Hello, Barry, debonair. How does it feel to be debonair?
Well, you ought to know.
I'm glad you asked. Claire, this lovely lady you saw on television with John Gielgud and Ivanov, fine actress, beautiful lady. She has a bruise on her leg.
Yes.
I noticed it.
You noticed it?
It's very ungallant of me, but I want you to
Yes.
tell my friends how you got the bruise.
I fell off me bike.
Your bike?
I fell off me bike.
Where were you riding your bike?
In the country with my daughter.
Oh, really?
I didn't cry.
You didn't cry? Well, I'm glad that it's no bit worse than it is, and I'm glad to know you ride a bike, because it makes you all the more human, as they say. Hello, Sylvia.
How do you do?
Sylvia Drought. What plans do you have for that money you won yesterday?
This past winter, my husband took me to Bermuda, and it rained the whole week, so I'm going to reimburse him.
Oh, really? Well, the Bermuda Chamber of Commerce is happy you told that story.
Maybe you'd like to hear of my travels.
Barry, what kind of jokes do you have to tell about your recent travels to Cairo?
No, I've quite exhausted them, and I wouldn't want to try to bring this show to a climax.
You did not see the production of Cactus Flower in Istanbul. Why?
No, as a matter of fact, I happened to be at a dinner at the time, and they said, we didn't know you were in Cactus Flower. It's in its final act now, and they're going on to play at a closing night party. And I went to that, a swinging party on the Bosporus. And now they're off to the Black Sea playing in those ports, and I think I may join them.
You felt a little like Byron, huh? Hello, John Miller. Come back.
I'm here.
Nice to have you here, yeah. Do you have a family, John?
Yes, sir, I have. Wonderful wife, and when this show is, when this particular show will be shown, I'll have 1 8/9 children.
We're going to pick up a game we started yesterday, and the score stands. As I remember, it's very close. What is it? Oh, it's 22-14. Well, it's not too close, but the ladies can win on this, as a matter of fact. There's the word.
Continue.
Claire Bloom has the word. Barry Nelson has the same word, and
next.
there it is.
The password is...
Tune in for BuzzVember tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on my YouTube channel. Have a good day.